A cleverly crafted animated film based on popular book The Guardians of Childhood by William Joyce, Rise of the Guardians follows Jack Frost, the spirit of winter, as he becomes a newly appointed guardian. For this first Under the Radar podcast, we're exploring the creative and beautiful world of Rise of the Guardian. This is Utter Randomness Podcast. I'm Lulu, your host, and we'll get down right to it. So before the official production of Rise of the Guardians, 2005 saw William Joyce and Real FX launch Ainsworth Amusements. This was so Joyce could make featured films. While his original idea was not realized, they were able to create a short called Man in the Moon, which became the foundation for the Guardians movie. Now, in early 2008, they sold the rights to DreamWorks Animation with the promise that the studio would respect his wishes and versions of the characters, I should say. In 2009, Peter Ramsey would make his directorial debut with Joyce acting as co-director. Unfortunately, Joyce stepped down as co-director after the passing of his daughter, Mary Catherine, but he did become executive producer along with Guillermo del Toro and Michael Siegel. While The Rise of the Guardians was based on a children's book, there is a difference between the original source material and the movie. Obviously, there's always differences between source material and movies. The book explores the origin of the characters as a whole, while the movie takes approximately 200 years in the future and only explores really Jack Frost's backstory and where the Guardians stand today, or well, I should say the timing the movie takes place. Joyce went on record saying that he didn't really want people to read the book and then go see the movie and say that the movie was better, or even vice versa. He understood that a lot could change during the production phase, so he wanted the movie to be quite standalone and even self-contained. Let's get into the movie. So the movie is centered around Jack Frost, who is voiced by Chris Pine. And as I said, Jack Frost is the spirit of winter, who at the beginning of the movie is describing how he came into existence hundreds of years ago with no memory. Jack explains that he was lifted from the ice by the Man in the Moon, but he, it kind of gets confusing. He's invisible. Well, obviously, if he's in the ice, he's probably has been gone for quite some time, but he's invisible to other people. He doesn't know who he is, the Man in the Moon told his name, which was Jack, but he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't have any memories. And this Man in the Moon person thing doesn't talk at all and seems to be the one pulling the strings and is the creator of the Guardians, or seems to be the creator of the Guardians. At the North Pole, North, or as we know him better as, Santa Claus is alerted to Pitch, or the Boogeyman, has returned and threatens the children of Earth. North summons fellow Guardians, the Tooth Fairy, or Tooth, the Easter Bunny, or Easter Bunnyman, and the Sandman, or Sandy. They are voiced respectively by Alec Baldwin, Hugh Jackman, Isla Fisher, and Jude Law. Now, Sandy doesn't actually have a voice actor and communicates with his sand or little jingles, and it's super cute. It's adorable, and I think they did an awesome job with that. North learns that the Man in the Moon wants Jack Frost to become a new guardian to help them fight Pitch. North brings Jack to his headquarters, which is Santa's workshop. It's adorable with the Yetis and the little elves, so that he could be sworn in as a guardian. But Jack, he doesn't want to be a guardian. He's still upset that the Man in the Moon doesn't tell him things, why he's been chosen to become a guardian. He's also frustrated after the years and years of isolation because children don't believe in him. North pushes Jack to join, or at the very, very least, have him cooperate with the Guardians and their mission to defeat the ever-looming threat of Pitch. They travel to Tooth's castle/domain to discover that Pitch has attacked, stealing the baby teeth of children stored there, the memories, and all of Tooth's worker except for one, which they named Baby Tooth, who was saved by Jack. Pitch showed up and tells the Guardians his intentions. He wants to punish the Guardians, and in order to do that, Pitch must destroy the faith and beliefs that the children have in them. Pitch has already put in place his plan, stealing the workers and the children's teeth. Pitch has weakened Tooth, who's becoming so weak, in fact, because the children have started to stop believing in her. There's no teeth under the pillow as they wake up, no quarters from the Tooth Fairy. Their faith and belief in Tooth has started to wane. And soon actually, she might end up like Jack Frost and Pitch, unbelieved in and invisible to children and weak. In attempts to avert this, the Guardians and Jack very cutely collect the teeth themselves. Now, Jack only does this duty because Tooth promised Jack his teeth, which means he can actually get his memories back. A young boy named Jamie, who's voiced by Dakota Goyo, I should say. We've met him at the beginning of the movie, finds the Guardians in his room, but Jack is still invisible. Pitch learns that the Guardians are resisting and fighting back. He attacks, fighting Jack and Sandy. Despite his best efforts to stop Pitch, Sandy is so overwhelmed and is destroyed by Pitch. Heartbroken over the loss of Sandy, they rally together to help Bunnyman prepare the eggs for Easter. This becomes slightly complicated when Sophie, Jamie's baby sister, sneaks in. Now, Jack realizes that the other Guardians have lost their touch in regards to personally dealing with children, and it's so cute. Accuable. I try to put adorable and cute together. It's so adorably cute seeing them sort of lose their minds when baby Sophie shows up quite unannounced, and it's adorable. It's so cute. It's so pleasant. So after the eggs are ready for Easter, Jack takes Sophie home. Now, on his way back, Jack discovered Pitch's headquarters, finding both the stolen teeth and the baby fairies. Pitch confronts Jack and urges him to step aside to become a neutral party. And if he does step aside, Pitch promises that he'll give him his teeth and memories back to him. Jack refuses, but the damage is already done. Pitch's minions have attacked Bunnyman's domain, destroyed the eggs meant for Easter, and like Tooth, when Pitch attacked her domain, Bunnyman is weakened, and even his appearance changed. Bunnyman is such an adorable little bunny. With this attack, the Guardian spirits are just completely decimated. They're shattered. A disheartened Jack goes back to the North Pole. Pitch confronts him again and tries to tempt Jack to his side. Jack refuses again. He wants to be loved, not feared like Pitch. Not surprised by this refusal, Pitch shows Jack Baby Tooth and threatens actually to kill her. Pitch wants Jack's staff, the source of his power. Reluctantly, Jack relinquishes it, trading his staff for Baby Tooth. However, Pitch, being the villain, reneges on their deal, and the subsequent fight leaves Jack trapped in a crevice and his staff broken into two. Trapped and in absolute despair, Baby Tooth convinces Jack to access his memories. In these memories, we see Jack as a mortal boy who saved his sister from falling through the ice. Due to Jack's selfless heroism, he became the Winter Spirit and later chosen to become a Guardian. The Guardians and Pitch find out that there is a single child who still believes in all of them, Jamie. Jack races to Jamie and confirms that he doesn't just believe in the Guardians, but he also believes in Jack, thus being able to see him. The Guardians, in their severely weakened state, stand up to Pitch while Jamie gathers his friends and restores their faith and belief in the Guardians. Pitch's overwhelming power, though, doesn't hold a candle to a child's faith in the Guardians. Because of this faith, the Guardians' powers are restored, and even Sandman is resurrected because of their renewed belief and rejoins the battle with the other Guardians. Sandy's comeback tips the scales in the Guardians' favor, and they're able to defeat Pitch. Pitch's own nightmares, though, are now turning against him, and he is dragged back to his lair by them. The victory convinces Jack to become a Guardian, and he vows to protect children in their childhood as well as his new friends. Now, obviously, this is where I unload my opinions, and boy, do I have a load of them. So firstly, not opinion, but the budget of this movie was $145 million. It received more than $376 million at the box office. While it didn't do horrible at the box office for a DreamWorks animation, it was an unfortunate flop, and even the director, Peter Ramsey, agreed that it was a flop, citing that DreamWorks didn't understand the movie or how to market it properly. Instead of marketing it as it should have, DreamWorks and Paramount marketed the movie rather similarly as they did Shrek and How to Train Your Dragon, irreverent and spoofy, rather than a feel-good movie about the importance of believing in good and the protecting the innocence of childhood. Let's be honest though, trailers for movies either feel as if the entire movie has been spoiled in its 2 minutes time slot, or is just downright horrendous and doesn't do a decent job of advertising the movie it's about. Another prime reason it flopped is because it was going up against some heavy hitters such as Skyfall, Silver Linings Playbook, Life of Pi, and a Twilight sequel around and on its opening weekend. I will say DreamWorks and Paramount tried to keep the movie out of the lion's den. Its release date was November 2nd. Its original release date was November 2nd. And it was pushed back to November 21st to avoid running into Disney's movie Wreck-It Ralph. Honestly, because this movie feels holiday-esque and Christmassy, I think it would have done better in December or even in early January 2013. While movies such as Jack Reacher, Cirque du Soleil World's Way, Zero Dark 30, and Django Unchained, and more were out at this time, there were very few holiday or children's movies being released in this time span of January and December. I don't know much about animation to offer much in a way of a solid opinion, so take this part with a grain of sand, but I will say this. The animation for Rise of the Guardians is stunning. Jack is always covered in iridescent, shiny frost that can be seen on his shoulders and his hood, and you can physically see how cold Jack always is by the color of his skin and his lips, and the fact he's always nearly covered in frost. It's quite a very neat little detail. It's beautiful. The sand that both Pitch and Sandy utilize is a physical representation between the Guardians and the Pitch's abilities, darkness and light. The golden soft glow that Sandy's dream sand gives and the absence of light that Pitch's nightmare sand is a beautiful, stunning visual. Each character is uniquely designed, from the fairies to the Yetis, the elves, Bunnyman in the North, all either being an amalgamation of past drawings of these characters done by Joyce, or what a child might think these people look like if the Guardians existed. While the filmmakers have said that the film meets their expectations, they've been working hard on getting a sequel greenlit by DreamWorks. It's one of the reasons that Joyce hasn't brought back the film rights from DreamWorks. He's still holding on to the hope of having a sequel, and honestly, so am I. I am totally one of these people, would love to see a reunion of these characters on the big screen. And honestly, this movie should have had the spin-offs that could be compared to How to Train Your Dragon, with multiple movies, comic book adaptation, animation, TV shorts, and so many other forms of spin-offs. Like, in my opinion, Rise of the Guardian sat in that kind of realm, and it's kind of unfortunate that it didn't. So for me, Rise of the Guardians is rated, for me, as a 4.6 out of 5, with beautiful animations, a story for the ages, and incredible characters. It can become the next timeless classic and should hopefully be next must-watch list. If you've seen this movie, what are your thoughts? Did you like it? If you haven't watched it, what about it disinterests you? Is it because of your lack of kids? Is it because it's not a type of film that you would have usually watched? What about it would have just disinterested you? And then what about it, if you have watched it, interested you? Did someone ask you to come watch it with them? Did you go see it by yourself? What about it interested you as well? So we're going to end it there. If you wish to support this podcast, please jump over to Anchor or buy me a coffee or a Patreon. Your support is always welcomed. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.